After a few minutes, a nurse brought her baby back into the room. She demanded to know what was going on. The nurse didn't say a word as she handed the bundle back to her. She didn't understand why they had rushed off with her only to bring her back now. But when Abby unwrapped her newborn baby to take a look at her face, tears started streaming down her face. She couldn't believe what she was looking at. Abby Harris felt like a normal young woman, except other people didn't think the same. Abby had a unique condition called achondroplasia. Achondroplasia causes the limbs to be much shorter and is the most common cause of dwarfism. But Abby wasn't blind to the attention she got. But then, one day, she got attention from someone who understood her. John Gray knew he was different. He saw the stares that he got and always felt like some kind of circus attraction. After multiple failed relationships, he really felt alone. He had a condition known as geliophysic dysplasia. Geliophysic dysplasia affects many parts of the body, but most notably the hands, feet, and height. It is a lesser-known cause of dwarfism. But one day, John found someone that was just like him. He knew it was fate. After Abby and John met by coincidence, they decided to start dating. The two of them felt like the perfect match. No one that they dated before felt quite like the right match, but the two of them really saw each other as two peas in a pod. But once they decided to take things further, they would be met with backlash. The two fell in love with each other and things quickly escalated. After only 1 year of dating, the two decided to take the next step and get married. They knew they would never find anyone like each other ever again. But they had no idea what consequences their actions would have. Just a few months after their marriage, Abby and John wanted to try for a baby. But with their unique conditions, they wanted to make sure it was safe to do so. They scheduled an appointment with a doctor to see if it was possible, but the news the doctor gave them was anything but expected. The married couple was nervous on their way to the doctor. They knew that things weren't normal for them, but hoped there was still a way to have a child. But after both of their examinations, their doctor had bad news. He advised that they shouldn't try to have kids. They couldn't believe what he said. They wouldn't let him dictate whether or not they should try to start a family, but they should have listened to him. After thinking about it for a few months, the couple decided to go through with trying for kids. It wasn't an easy decision, but they were willing to take the risks that their doctor had told them about. He even agreed to deliver their baby for them. But they had no idea what their baby would look like when they were born. Abby gave John amazing news just 3 months into trying for a baby. She was pregnant. The two were over the moon, but knew it would be a hard road ahead for them. For 9 months, Abby carried their child with difficulty. Being smaller meant that proportionately the baby was a heavier load to carry, but it was all worth it on her due day when they rushed to the hospital to deliver her baby. But they would be sick to their stomachs when the doctor had to rush their child out of the room before she even had a chance to see her baby. She felt her stomach twist into the knot after she watched the doctor's expression on his face. They took her baby away after taking one look at him. What was wrong? The doctor's advice not to have children repeated itself over and over again in her head. Was she suffering the consequences now? She felt dread creep over every part of her body. After a few minutes, a nurse brought her baby back into the room. She demanded to know what was going on. The nurse didn't say a word as she handed the bundle back to her. She didn't understand why they had rushed off with her, only to bring her back now. But when Abby unwrapped her newborn baby to take a look at her face, tears started streaming down her face. She couldn't believe what she was looking at. Abby felt butterflies form in her stomach and tears streamed down her face as she looked at her newborn's beautiful face. She looked just a lot like her and had her father's eyes. If nothing was wrong with her newborn, then why had they taken her away? She asked the nurse again what had happened, and this time she replied. The nurse explained that it was just a precaution because of both her parents' conditions. They needed to make sure she was healthy before doing anything else. Once they could tell that she was in no danger, they brought her back. But what of the consequences of Abby having a baby? The reason why the doctor didn't advise the couple to try and have a child was because of their conditions. He told them that there was a 75% chance that their child would be born with dwarfism as well. But that didn't bother the couple. They would teach their child that it's okay to be different and that it doesn't mean that life has to be harder for it. Abby and John went on to have another 4 children together and never regretted it. All of their pregnancies went well and without any complications. Their 2 daughters and 2 sons all have achondroplasia, but they like that they are just like their parents. The family looks forward to a happy life together without any complications.